Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and Japan just had a huge Pokemon TCG tournament. In fact, I think this is actually the biggest tournament ever. There are like different ways of measuring tournaments, and it's a little weird. But anyways, this tournament had 7,500 players around, which is very big, right? And the deck that won is Alakazam. I actually have not taken a look much at these results. I glanced the other day. This was around actually like almost a week ago, or like a week ago, I think. And so I apparently missed this, though I think Limitless reported a little late for whatever reason. But this is a really cool with the winning deck being Alakazam and a bunch of really interesting things. I will mention this is obviously in Japan here. Japan has the expansion. Not Chaos Rising, though essentially it's Chaos Rising. It's the expansion Ninja Spinner. Ninja Spinner, it's the set containing Mega Greninja EX, which is Chaos Rising internationally, and I guess Mega Float EX as well. And notably, the by far, I believe, best and most notable card for the set is Special Red card. This card says you can only use this if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. Your opponent shuffles their hand, puts it on the bottom, then draws 3. So this is a hand disruption item. It's pretty good. It's not like super broken. I don't think. I obviously haven't played with it, but it is very good. I suppose we will see it in some of these lists here. But it's also really interesting that that card is played here, and Alakazam won. Right, of course, Alakazam. I imagine most of you are familiar. If you're not, I mean, it has the ability Psychic Draw. Its whole thing is drawing cards with Psychic Draw and doing big damage with a big hand, with powerful hand, right? So you want to get this big hand, and you need this big hand as well. And Special Red card is around, and there's no counter as far as I'm aware to it. Certainly not in this list. I'm pretty sure there are no counters to that card. Honestly, like really at all. I don't know if there are any expanded either. But anyways, Alakazam obviously can do really big damage. On the other hand, it also can struggle against spread as well. We see the list running 4 Battle Cage. I will say also, I didn't say this yet, looking at the metagame, there are a few decks that there's Ogerpon there's some different Ogerpon decks, which we'll get to. I have not actually looked at them yet. Though I actually did talk about these decks in a tier list. This again, the tier list was in the Perfect Order format, not the Chaos Rising format we're looking at here. But I did rank all these decks, but we see that there are 3 decks played twice, and then all the other decks are played once. Instead, some of these might have some overlap there. But with Alakazam, there were only 2 Dragapult decks in the top 16 here, and so we see Alakazam being able to deal with that as well, again, with Battle Cage, and we see like Psyduck and Shaman. I don't think there's anything else that's spread. I guess there's Water Ogerpon, and then there's also and Star Manitan. Yeah, that'd be spread. But that one you can stop pretty easily with Shaman there. Anyways, the deck is cool. I'd actually highly recommend it. It's good in standard with Telepathic Psychic Energy. This deck plays no cards that are not currently in standard internationally. There is no Special Red card, and there are no other cards that are not in standard. There's another Alakazam list as well. So this deck is doing pretty well here. It finished 6th. And so we see this one. Oh, this one runs actually the other Alakazam. This card's really interesting, I guess. It can move damage counters around. It can do damage based on energy. I'm not actually sure what this is here for. Is it here for Ogerpon? Someone tell me in the comments what this card is here for. It does light it weakness, I guess, as well. But it seems kind of not super, especially because the other Alakazam is, very good, right? But anyways, we do see that here, which is kind of fun. And we see some similar stuff. We actually see the Lucky Helm as well, a cool little card there, letting you draw some cards when you're hit into, which is arguably the most important time to draw cards. I guess drawing them early is also very important, which that doesn't do. I guess if we're against Badu, it draws you cards as well. So overall, kind of fun there. We see Enhanced Hammer. We see 2 in this list and 1 in this list. There is, of course, Mist Energy. I assume we're going to see, 3 Mist Energy here in this Crustle list, which we'll get to in just a second. And in this is not, that's not going to be running Rock Fighting. I'm trying to think if there's another deck playing a Special Energy, Mist, or Rocky Fighting Energy, which would stop Alakazam, and you need Enhanced Hammer for that, right? You essentially lose the game if you're not able. I mean, it stops your Alakazam attack. Alakazam doesn't actually do damage; it puts damage counters on, so that's an effective attack and will be stopped by those Special Energies there. But then we have the next deck here. This is Marnie's finishing 2nd. Obviously, placement-wise, finishing first versus second versus third versus fourth, some of it is just down to luck. But I am going to be going through these decks in order of how they finished as well. And it definitely does reflect something. A lot of it has to do with players playing well and stuff like that. But anyways, Marnie's here. This is honestly pretty tame. Wait a second. It plays 2 Larry's Skill. That's a cool card. I don't think this card, is this being played? I was like, oh wow, it's played in Marnie's, but that's literally the list we were just looking at. Yeah, Larry Skill is not played. Apparently, it's played in Marnie some, so that's kind of cool. It gets a supporter, a Pokemon, and a basic energy, which is something. It's kind of slow, but it's a cool card. Definitely fun. Oh, and it discards your hand. It discards your hand, which is bad. So anyways, it's fun to see here. It obviously gets some cards which can be useful there. And it is a supporter. It's a supporter that is a search supporter, which means it works under Badoo. And we will see, I'm sure we'll see some Badoo. I think not as much as you might be used to, though. Then we have the, I'm trying to see if there's anything else. There's a special red card as well as Unfair Stamp. I think these cards actually complement each other quite nicely within the health of the metagame. Currently in standard, Unfair Stamp, I mean, it's in the name. It's called Unfair Stamp. It definitely feels kind of unfair post-rotation, being by far the main form of hand disruption. We saw like Airy, and you could play like 0/6 Machinations, make Absol EX. These are forms of hand disruption, but they are weaker or very, premeditated. You can like see them coming from a mile away. We also see 14 Marks Petrol. I don't actually play Marnie's. I don't think I play this deck post-rotation. I'm not going to lie. Usually this tournament's post-rotation. Never mind. This list, random list. This one is also this one runs Petrol. I don't know if most of them run Petrol. If anyone knows if there's like anything else that stands out about this list, as I said, I've like seen some Marnies. Certainly, people are playing Mega Frostlass right now. That's probably the biggest difference between. Well, there is special red card, which I would say hurts Alakazam. Clearly, it's okay there. But then also, people are playing Mega Starmie instead of Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX because they play kind of similarly, and Mega Starmie's fun and new. But anyways, we got the third place deck here. We can't spend too much time on each deck because, as I said, there's so many different decks here. But Team Rockets was played twice here, mission third and ninth, so pretty good there. And this, whoa, okay, that's not what I was expecting to see. Okay, we do see Team Rockets Sneasel. It's all fun card, fun option in the deck. I thought this card had Free Retreat. Apparently it does not. And this card, though, does have Free Retreat. And obviously good against Dragapult. Same thing with this card. You hit good weaknesses here. And that's quite nice. You can do some really nasty stuff to Dragapult EX, or rather stop them from doing nasty stuff to you. Certainly Team Rocket's Mimikyu with Lithera EX is pretty rough. Obviously, good supporter package. Bug Catcher set as well. You have like so many good cards you play in the deck. It's just a deck made up of a lot of good cards, except for the Pokemon, which are pretty mediocre, but they can be good at times as well here. Then the next list, this one runs Team Rocket's Kangaskhan EX. I'm so used to saying Mega Kangaskhan EX, I'm going to slide that in there, but this can do 220 for 3 colors. Not bad, and you actually have Comet Punch as well. A funny card. Oh, also, this is a new card. This is Prism Tower. Once during your turn, you can discard 2 to draw 1. Prism Tower is fine, I guess. I don't know. It's not a super good card. It's kind of cool with Team Rocket's Ariana here, but so discards 2 to draw 1. Since you played that, I'm pretty sure Team Rocket's Factory draws more like all the time, unless I'm miscalculating. Or no, you can discard 2. You could play the one you draw, and you could draw 2. I guess you technically could get more cards with Prism Tower, but and just like it's fine. It feels okay in the deck. Allows you to I guess bump Team Rocket's Factory, or which could be cool. I guess I don't know. Ultimately, it's an interesting inclusion here. It is a new card, so I wanted to mention it. But in general, we see Pure Escape. Not what I was expecting here either. So Team Rocket's B2 EX. It's not a super good card, but it has the crazy outlier of having like absurd HP. Sack that with Hero Escape. It's super hard to knock out. So really cool. Gonna be realistically the most tanky Pokemon your opponent's ever gonna see. So that's pretty cool there. And you have, speaking of cool, I guess, or not, we got Crustle, which I mentioned earlier. It does run Mist Energy. It runs Payapa Berry. This is for Munkidori? What's Payapa Berry for? So this card, there's a bunch of these. There's 6 or something like that. I don't know. There's not one for every type, but there's one for a bunch of types. And if the Pokemon card is attached to its damage from attack from your opponent's Pokemon of a certain type, here it's Psychic, it takes 60 less, and then you discard it. So it's a one-time thing. It's very niche. I guess I will mention Zoroark's Machinations here as well. I'll get that out of the way. It can be useful in tournaments to end games faster. But and we see Growing Grass Energy. Haven't really seen that. I guess that makes sense in Crustle, though I've definitely had issues with energy. I guess when I played Crustle last, though, it was with TM Turbo Energize. But you have the Crispin issue as well. Regardless, that shouldn't be too bad. But with Payapa Berry, this card is just so interesting to me. Oh yeah, it has the Baby Fezandifty as well. I've seen this card played a little, and it's a pretty interesting card. I've actually played this card in Standard with Cinderace Tortuga, funnily enough. But I think I made a video on that video on this deck/card on my channel, which you could check out and subscribe as well, so you don't miss other cool content and But the video. But with this ability, it's Adrena something. It's Adrena Pheromone. I actually didn't know that was the name of the ability before clicking on this. But if you have a Darkness attached, you're immune to damage half the time. I will say it is damage, not damage counters. That does damage based on energy attached to this Pokemon. So it's kind of a cool card. Obviously, can be Dolly and stuff like that. Overall, Definitely an interesting deck. Definitely confused about Pipe Up. As I said, it might be here for Munkidori, but I feel like the bigger issue with Munkidori is the confusion, which Mist Energy stops. Or like if you don't have it, then it won't stop it. Also, wait, no, Therapeutic rotated. Yeah, that rotated. That stops confusion. Right, it does, but it rotated. So ultimately, though, it's a cool deck, kind of. I don't know if it's cool. I might describe it as cool. So definitely deck to be aware of at the very least there. Then we have a single price deck. This is Okidogi Barbarical. This deck's pretty cool. So pretty much the idea of the deck, it does run a new card from Perfect Order, which is Barbarical, letting you accelerate a basic fighting from your hand to one of your fighting Pokemon every turn, which is nice, allowing you to accelerate to Okidogi here. And Okidogi for, I'll just say fighting and a rainbow energy, or like its energy of every type. It's going to do 170. It's going to get a bunch of HP as well. So it's a pretty good Pokemon. Hits like decent weakness there. And yeah, we also see 2 special red cards. Interesting to see that here. I think this is the first deck to be running that. There's some other stuff in the deck. Obviously, Lunatone Solrock, very good. Fighting Gong, very good. You can play Colossal Ogerpon EX to power that up really well, or pretty well, which is good. I think I'm looking through the decks. It's like it's pretty good, I suppose. Probably good against Rockets because they got abilities there. Oh wait, is it good? They can actually team Rockets Mimikyu. I forgot about that. It's wait, no, it's not good against Crustle because you hit for a weakness. I don't know. It's like a good card though. But anyways, definitely a fun deck. I'd highly recommend this. I think I played it on my channel. It's pretty fun. Definitely a cool deck to try out. Not like amazingly powerful, but it's pretty fun. Then we have Dragapult, the first of 2 Dragapult list. I meant to open that in a new tab here because this one's Dragapult Blaziken. The 15th place one is regular Dragapult without Dusknoir. There's actually run Dusknoir, which is interesting. I don't think any of the decks run. Almost none of the decks run Dusknoir, so that's pretty interesting there. But this list is Blaziken Dragapult. I actually have not really played much Blaziken Dragapult. Love to hear people's thoughts on this deck in the comment section. Also, this Chiyu, I haven't seen too much. I've seen it popping up a little, but with this deck, you're able to power up your Dragapults, which is like super important. It's focusing on powering up Dragapults as opposed to sending up Dusknoirs, which prize trade like kind of evenly. Essentially, you're knocking yourself out, which is kind of bad, right? But this card. Dragapult EX is very good. This card, Draco is very good. Badoo is very good. You just play lots of good cards. You know the drill. And yeah, the deck is good. It does a lot of good stuff. Yeah, it's Dragapult. We got another list here. This one doesn't run Blaziken. We see like Rose Encouragement here. Both of us actually run 2 Crisp. Been interesting to see there. Or very similar amounts of energy acceleration, ignoring Blaziken, which obviously is energy acceleration, and I guess a weakness hitter, but like not really. I guess Chiyu is probably a weakness hitter. That would make sense. But the deck's definitely it's interesting to see Shame as well popping up a bunch here, and definitely a pretty good deck, I would say. Like obviously, I'm gonna say it's the best deck in the game. Let's be honest, but it definitely is. Obviously, we see a lot of different decks here being played. Then we got the next deck, which is Greninja EX. Greninja EX. This is not Mega Greninja EX. It's regular Greninja EX. Apparently, the Froakie and Frigadier are new, which is fine. I don't know. But then we have Greninja EX. This card is super cool. It's interesting. It's one of the only Terras, I believe, that sees play that changes types. Obviously, you got Dragapult EX, you got the Ogerpons, and that's it, I think. And then we got Greninja EX that changes type. And then the other ones change type. So Greninja EX, super cool here, letting you search for a card for 1 water. And they can do some pretty nasty spread, as well as with Grand Tree. And one of the most powerful things this deck can do, which if you saw one of my videos, I think I was playing Dragapult. I just got super wrecked by this deck. I turn 1 went second, Badooed them, and I got 2 Dreepies down. They knocked out both Dreepies using Greninja EX. Turn 2 going first under item lock. Obviously, turn 1 they got a water energy on the Greninja EX, as well as the Froakie. Or sorry, they got the Froakie down. They attached the water to it there, and we're in the active. Which is something to ask, but then they just play Closest Nasty, maybe off of Meowth EX. Maybe they just had it. They couldn't search the Meowth EX using Ultra Ball, but with Closest Nasty, you can get Grand Tree, which will allow you to evolve into the Stage 2, and then Ignition Energy, and just attack. And with the attack, you discard 2 energies, which is just going to be the Ignition, which is getting discarded anyway. So super good there. Also really interesting to see. This deck is running Dusknoir, obviously good. That makes sense. And it's also running Snow which doesn't evolve. I mean, it does evolve into Frostlass. That's not in this list. It runs just Mega Frostlass. This card is legitimately, in some ways, the most powerful Pokemon in the game in terms of raw damage. It just like swings for so much damage out of kind of nowhere. It's kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, or not. Sometimes it doesn't do anything, but there are times when it's legitimately just so scary, nothing you can do about it. Because sometimes you can parry hand down, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you're Badooed, things like that. So Mega Frostlass, interesting to see that here. Just such a powerful card at times there. And yeah, overall a cool deck. We see Kieran as well. card I like. I don't play it too much, but it's a cool card there. It's versatile. Cool to see. Then we have we got this deck, which is, I think this is, people are calling it a slot box, which is, it's just Absol box, right? The deck is just Absol box, or it's like, it's kind of like Ogerpon Fairy mixed with Absol box. The deck is fine, you know. Someone like asked in one of my, I made a tier list video, so it was like, where do you rank this deck? And I was like, I didn't actually respond, but I ranked it. I ranked it. I'd rank it where I ranked it. But anyways, with Mega Absol EX, that card is, you know, you can like disrupt, which is powerful. Paired with 0/6 Machinations, it does something. I like kind of act like it's not super good, but also without Iono, 0/6 Machinations plus Mega Absol EX, some of the best disrupts you can do. Obviously, Unfair Stamp to Mega Absol EX, real nasty as well. We don't see special red card. Interesting to see there as well. Obviously, pretty based around Crispin here. Cyrano, super good. You got the draw engine of, or like the, I guess, overarching pseudo engine of Meowth EX. Mega Kangaskhan County EX, I guess, paired with Latios EX there as well. Team Ogerpon EX getting a little extra draw, obviously doing the energy stuff as well, which is what you kind of want to do. Anyways, paired with energy switch there. We see Pheasant Dipty EX, obviously allowing you to just go ahead and draw some cards. It's very good, right? Pheasant Dipty EX is very good. So, yeah, the deck could do some cool, powerful stuff. Definitely pretty fun there, in my opinion. I haven't played too much. I don't, you know, this isn't me ranking these decks. I don't think it's super strong, at least when I played with or against it. But it's a cool deck with some cool options. Obviously, you can hit weakness on different things. Running 3 prizers can be scary, especially because you probably are playing down a single prizer as well. But definitely a cool and powerful deck here. Then we have, I guess I'll look at the other Ogerpon decks as well. I can't imagine Ogerpon in my game. Okay, yeah, so this is Arboliva. I've talked about this deck some. Obviously, you got Arboliva. I wouldn't say it's old news, but it's not like new news either. Arboliva EX, spread, Ogerpon with Meganium, big damage, and yeah, you could do that. It's quite powerful. And Briar. Briar, also a good card. Definitely interesting to see what decks this is in. This is the only one, actually, that it was in this tournament. So that's cool to see. We're seeing it like not in these other decks either. Then we have this deck. This definitely plays similar to the Absol box deck. We see 3 Meowth EX, a bunch there, but you can ditch it with Aerosio Underdepths, a really cool thing you can do. I've actually not done that or seen anyone do it, but I know you can, and it seems fun. Or sorry, you can play it, like have extra bench space with Aerosio Underdepths, and then if Aerosio Underdepths gets bumped, which you can do using Chimp How, then you can ditch it. I haven't, no pun intended with last ditch catch there, but it's a cool thing. It's a fun thing you can do. Obviously, you got Wilson Master Ogerpon EX, pretty good. Most people will get Shaman down, but Shaman is kind of hard to search. It's not like super impossible or anything, but it's a little, I mean, it's not Buddy Boy Puff and searchable, right? It would be way better for that 10 the less HP there. We also do see the Unfair Stamp and Special Red Card. I think this is going to be more common. I think it's going to feel pretty fair, I guess. I mean, Unfair Stamp is after your opponent's been just taking 1 knockout, so it could, you know, be a knockout on your like single prizer there or something like that. But then Unfair Stamp, Special Red Card can be used if your opponent. Oh, and we also see Judge as well. I should probably mention that. But with these cards, they kind of, the Judge is sacrificing your supporter for the turn, is like, you know, not a super good draw supporter. And then Special Red Card is a card that allows you to just go ahead and do the rest of your opponent, but it is only on certain turns of the game. With Dusknoir, I think that is very good. People aren't doing that clearly, though. The only Dusknoir deck didn't run Special Red Cards. That's interesting to see. Then we got this deck here. These 2 decks, the Absol one and I'll just call it the Ogerpon one, are pretty similar. They have some similarities, but obviously some differences as well. Obviously, the one running Absol is running Absol, and the other one isn't. Meganium is, or no, Meganium with Arboliva EX, kind of cool. Not too much to say about it right now, though. Then we got, I guess Raging Bolt. That one also plays some similar stuff, but Simeon, I have not seen this card much at all. We do see Chimp How as well. We can do the, the Chimp How, Aerosio Underdepth stuff, can counter other stuff. Don't think it's here to counter other stuff. Actually, no. Yeah, it is here to counter Team Rocket's Watchtower as well. Very, very good card there. I'd say kind of underrated. I think people are starting to play it more. It's very good. But anyways, you have Raging Bolt EX with Team Ogerpon EX and Crispin, of course, without Professor Sal's Vitality there. And we do see Iron Leaves EX as well, which is actually in a pretty good spot right now, being able to hit a bunch of good decks for weakness there. Then we do also see the Passimian. This card's like so random. It does 20 feature base book run play. Obviously, that's all of them. And you're going to have 9 potentially, which is going to be 180, which can one-shot some stuff with weakness or just do pretty good damage overall up for a single prizer. You are kind of using energy. Oh, no, you use Crispin as well. But you have energy switch as well. So pretty cool there. Definitely a kind of fun deck. Not one I've played too much or found much success with, but it is cool. Then we got another Mega Absol deck. I'll actually talk about this one as well. This is Mega Absol. Ooh, what? Okay. This is, I shrunk the screen. There we go. It's a dark box, or darkness box, I should okay. No Dark Patch here. But we got Toxtricity, powering some different things. Brute Bonnet does damage reach damage count on your opponent's active, which you like set up with Munkidori. And you have energy switches to use that, and you can attach to Munkidori. You can accelerate to Munkidori with Toxtricity. Toxtricity is kind of like Barbarical. And then you have Packer Runt here. Definitely interesting. Was not expecting to see this card. It amplifies poison. It does poison as well. It does poison, stops retreat. It does some really sick stuff, but certainly not expecting to see it post rotation. Then we got, you have Pekron, which it can Pekron EX, which can be nice. We don't see Bunnymochi, but we do see Pekron EX here. We see Quad Petrol, Quad Lily is definitely an interesting supporter lineup, one that we might be accustomed to seeing at some point. And then we have Mega Absol EX as well, of course, potentially doing Terminal Period or Claw of Darkness. Two pretty decent attacks. Terminal Period, definitely this deck seems more equipped to do that than others. You're putting damage counters on your own board, and you're putting them on your opponent. Definitely kind of cool there. And the last deck is the Enzoric EX deck. This is not the last place deck, but it is the last deck we're talking about in this video, finished 12th. And yeah, I mean, yeah, the 2-win Zekrom, and Zekrom with Rampaging Thunder is the best attack in the deck, just kind of in general. And Mantian with Flame Body Cannon is real nasty as well. Definitely an attack that a lot of decks are going to struggle to deal with sometimes, or maybe they can deal with it fine. But forcing them to play around that is kind of nice. We see Bunnymochi with Pekron EX as well, so you can just do a ton of damage here. Is really cool. We also see Acerola's Mischief, not what I was expecting to see. Of course, with alongside like as PP for setting up, as well as like a bunch of, I guess, kind of techie cards. But Acerola's Mischief says you can only use this if your opponent has 2 or fewer prizes remaining. You choose one of your Pokemon in play, and during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to that Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon EX. It is a protective card, a really interesting card, a card I've not played or seen played against me, or like seen it. But ultimately, also, sorry, my video closed there. But yeah, this deck is pretty cool. Obviously, can do some really good stuff here. And definitely one that I've tried some, but I haven't tried it too much. And I've definitely played against it a lot. It's a pretty cool deck. But love to hear your thoughts on all these different decks in the comment section. Also, make sure you like and subscribe, all the good stuff. And also, a huge shout out to my members, which hopefully I will have the members card in this video. But I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.